Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lilu Nishma, Simi Miros, Rusmas Mordechai, Yoim. Shnai Vesrim Yoim, Shem Shlisha Shavuos, V'Yoim Echad, Ba'omer, La'omer. Shalom Raveli, Nachum Shor. First, thanks for giving such a clear understanding of Beis Unesh. Finally understand. Saw, especially appreciated the synopsis at the end. Second, thanks for making learning on the plane the in thing to do. My son took a picture of me, but it's on his camera and he's sleeping. Third, thanks for pushing learning during Bein HaZmanim. It's very hard to have a good kfiyas without the daf. Nachum Shor, Nevei Yaakov, MDY since Yevamis. Shkoyach. Rebellion, another example of ribis that many of us commit regularly. Listen to this. You're going to like this one. Is going to a restaurant with a friend, and one person pays the bill, and the other person says, next time it's my treat. The bill is never the same. It's a machshava. I'm sure that we're not over. It's davar koten. I went to a restaurant with a guy that's from that Gemara that he counts every Abe Skorsky, West Hempstead, New York. After watching the shir a few times over Pesach, perfecting his good morning Rabbi Sai all week, my 9-year-old told me he wanted to come when he's off from school. So yesterday, he was excited to come here. I'm just when he saw the dye store AI image. First of all, there's no such thing as AI image in MDY. There's AI enhancement. It helps, but Yoshi does a lot of work over there. AI. He was very excited because he loves looking at. Yeah, really, AI makes the guy come in and out. No, be'emes and he recognized it from the art book. He said he loves coming and can't wait until next time. Thank you for making learning exciting, for making the Gemara easier for me to understand, especially if I explained beforehand what the Gemara is going to try to do. And one of the reasons I like this share so much is that you're acceptable of all people from all walks of life, not a small matter. David Hochhauser, Yosher Koyach. He's not here. Gamzula Toivo, Hi Harav Atzadik Hagoyin of Eli. Thanks so much as always, Yeshurim. This is our Satmar Chosim from Kiryas Yoel. I love the stories. It keeps me the Yomi up to date. The story on Daf Ayin Dalet about the Rav that was very close to the king was Rabbi Yitzchok Abarbanel from Spain. Tiskul Mitzvahs Yossi Mizrachi. Kind regards Gamzula Toivo TorahZoom.com, where we have a few hundred views a day, which we always forget to count. So we're actually 25,350. Not. This is from Yaakov Shafnas, and that's Reb Baruch's brother. Reb Baruch, you have a chasher brother. He sits here in the Hebrew every day. It's hard for me to put the two together. You don't look alike, but both Big Bali Kishrin. It says when we said in the Gemara, Amalei Ravashi Inu Nami Achamra Koyavi Achal Lo Koyavi Mikor the Chamra the Chal Chala. So I said over there that you can see from a kid when he's younger what his midas are. So he brings here from the Chayvus HaTalmidim, that's what he says. He says, Gananim, Heim Began Hashem La'avdul Shamra, I think he's talking about the Ganenets. Those who take care of the kids. And you see that a kid has kas, you see he has akshanos, he's stubborn. It's going to stay like that. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives it to a kid for a reason, and like a sour esrig, you just wait a few months and then it becomes sweet. So kids are Mazel Tov to Lippi Gestetner from Toronto on his engagement to Rivka Weiss from Toronto. Mazel Tov, a Talmud of Ramosha Pluchak. Harav Agoy Ramosha. And don't tell me this is from Mark Ashkenazi. It is? I got it. So happy birthday to Yisrael Bartlett, who's in the hospital on his 50th birthday. Rabbi Yisrael, I had charata afterwards. I didn't ask you to come up here and give me a bracha. You can do it now. 76 years old on Daf 76. On Daf 76. Oh, yes. No, give a bracha now, Rabbi Yisrael. Yeah. Better now than never.
Bracha that you should continue learning and continue steiging and continue giving off beautiful Divrei Torah to Am Yisrael.
Amen. Shkoyach. Thank you. Beautiful. Shkoyach. Unbelievable. Okay. Peretz Chaim Levin did Rabbi Yirmiyah over Pesach. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's very, very long. But he was working very hard to sign up more people. He had 2 Gemaras left, and he was trying to unload them. And who? What? Yeah. Competition with art school. Who sells more Gemaras? The kid, sir, he went to a nursing home and the guy there wanted a Gemara, so he's on the way to MDY bar mitzvah and he stopped off into the nursing home. This is what he does to get another person to learn Torah. Kids at the bar mitzvah people. Oh, the father of the bar mitzvah boy asked if he could put up one of those stands with MDY. People came over, took pictures with it, but nobody signed up. He has one Gemara and he's kid, sir. He goes over to a guy. He says he really needs the daf. And the guy says, I'll do it on condition that you learn with me the daf. You show me what it's about. I don't have good skills. So he learns with him the daf. That's what it takes. Sometimes in order to get a guy to come to shul, you have to sit down and learn with the guy. So he starts giving him a whole thing about ribbis. And the guy tells him, based on what you're telling me, I'm over on ribbis every day. So the guy says, oh, it's time to learn. You learn basic how to live life. He got him to Ashgacha Pratis, a whole long thing. And the guy asked that he should learn with him every so often to make sure that he's chopping the shir, to which I gladly agreed. We'll see where this journey will take us. Your Talmud Peretz Chaim Levin. Rabbi said the Masechta is by anonymous for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Paras HaChodesh L'Nishma Zechariah ben Moshe L'Nishma Zechariah bas Yosef. I don't know if you guys are thinking about this. This is a machshava that keeps on going through my mind, and I'll just share with you that it's obvious. It's obvious to everybody. I'll just say it out loud. That when you see all the anti-Semitism in America and Chutz La'aretz and the college campuses, it scares me a lot for another reason. That the anti-Semite would rather hate the Jew and love the terrorist. It's unbelievable. When he has the two in front of him, he'd rather take the terrorist, the pro-Palestinian, the terrorist, Hamas, and hate the Jew. It's an excuse to hate the Jew. That's the sin. That's how deep it is. It's one thing, okay, you hate the Jew. But you have the terrorism, we're going to embrace the terrorism and hate the Jew. It's unbelievable. Paras HaChodesh L'Nishma Zechariah ben Moshe L'Nishma Zechariah bas Yosef. Paras HaYom. Shprintzy and Avrumie grows for the Yartzeit of our grandmother and aunt L'Nishma Shprintzy bas Yosef Yosfa Zechrono Levracha. L'Nishma Froomah bas Benimin Alevi Zechrono Levracha. Paras HaYom anonymous from Lakewood in honor of anonymous from Flatbush who hasn't missed a daf since moed koten beis. In other words, anonymous from Lakewood is sponsoring for that guy that wrote the anonymous email with Tishler. So Nachamal, anonymous from Lakewood, in honor of anonymous from Flatbush, who hasn't missed a daf since moed koten beis. Yeah. Move the mic up. Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it is a little. Okay, better. Anonymous from Lakewood. In honor of anonymous from Flatbush, because now the mic is up. Who hasn't missed the daf since moed koten beis? One of the best. It's such a gewaldige ma'aseh. Yona ben Golda Zahava, Jonah Goldschmidt, Aleh Hashalom, all of Hashalom on his Yartzeit. Meir Lifshutz, Lila Nishmas Benenu. It's unbelievable. Lila Nishmas Benenu. Avigdor Chai Avram Zechron Levracha, third Yartzeit. Zainir, Meir Tzvi, Rochel Leah Lifshutz. Rabbi said we're holding daf Ayin Zayin. Interesting halach that we're going to have at the end of the daf today. I thought it was interesting, at least for me. You have a chassan who gives his kala a ring, and he didn't pay for the ring. It's a great kiddushin. The guy said, take it, whatever. You have the same chassan, his twin brother does the same thing, and his kiddushin is not good. Why? What would be the difference? They both didn't pay for the ring. One is considered his, and one it's not. Huh? No, not his kavana. It's more the kavana of the store owner. If the store owner pesters him to pay, then it's not a kiddushin. We see a new yahrzeit, the new halacha of pestering. People are knocking on the door. Oh, where's my payment? So they were serious. They really want all payment before you acquire it completely, versus a guy that's not such a pest. Omarov, V'Omarov. 3 lines down on Ayin Zayin Amud Aleph. We're not going to say what this Rosh Tevis is. Ayin Zayin. V'Omarov. It's one of my favorite Masechtas. One I did 30 chazars on. V'Omarov. Haimanda Agir Aguri L'Davlo. A person hires somebody to draw water with a pail. V'Asa Mitro. And rain comes. Pseida the Payalim. That's a continuation of amazing halacha that we had yesterday. Here's to remind the Olam, because the guy shows up at work and it rains. So whose fault is it? Well, it's no one's fault. It's a 50-50. And nobody knew it's going to rain. They didn't have meteorologists or whatever. Which reminded Derech Agav, just stam, why not throw it in? Jonathan is here. So Jonathan, I'm a pilot. I don't know if you knew this. Yeah. Right. I didn't mention when Jonathan was in Shir. Other time. No, but what I'm trying to say is that the hardest thing for me as a Ponovitcher was the weather. They give you books like this thick. You have to know all the types of fog and all types of cumulus nimbuses and then all the types of clouds and the highs and the lows and the fronts, and you have to know everything about weather. It's like not negate to it's so whatever. That was the hardest part. But anyway, in those days they didn't have that knowledge. It rained. Shalom Yisrael. How should I know? So if it's a 50-50, we said if it's 50% you, 50% me, then the pile loses. Why, Mendy? Hamoitz mechaver el v'rayo. Azay zok the Ritva. Azay zok Mendy that the Ritva says. Hamoitz mechaver el v'rayo. So I want to tell you, take this Gemara. I'm giving you a hint now, and with the hint, it's going to be hard for you to chap. You take this yahrzeit. I'm going to give you a real example, a day-to-day, a real example that happened, and what the Dayanim came up from this Gemara. I don't know how they figured this out. What? Yeah. But he didn't even show up. Tchil of what? It's too late. When you showed up, it's already raining. You didn't start the work. For what? For saying to show up. Anyway, a Meisah Shahaya, there was an unbelievable principal in New York. He had Atzlacha. Wherever he went, like he took over this school, boom. Like in Chicago, they brought in this principal, two of them actually. I had the schus to meet one of them now in First Tzvi and also in Weisse. It just changes the whole, you know how it works. So a new CEO, it's like a completely different school, completely. So a school in Yerushalayim heard about this principal and decided to chap him. They made him an unbelievable offer, and he signed, it's a true story, he signed a 2-year contract. The guy sells his house, everything, comes to Yerushalayim. Within 2-3 months, they realized it's not a shidduch. The kids in Yerushalayim ate this guy up alive, making fun of him, American, you shite. I got to tell you how it works with Reb Levi. So they said, that's it. What are we gonna do? So they said, listen, we have to cut this. And he says, what do you mean? I moved my whole family. I sold my house. I have a 2-year contract. And then they have a shiloh to the Rav. We have to fire him. Should we fire him? And if we do, could we give him pitzuim, compensation from tzedakah money? People are donating from tzedakah, meiser to the school. How's it work? Hold it. They brought a rye from here. That when you have a 50-50, the school had no idea that he's not going to be Matzliach in Yerushalayim, and he didn't know. They both thought it's going to be great. They found out later it's like a rain. And therefore, it's the principal's problem. I know, everybody's shaking their head. I know, when I saw it, whether you agree with it or not, it's unbelievable how some dayan, or whoever it is, I don't know, thought about the sugi and put it here. Said, listen, when there's a 50-50, the paya loses. The worker loses. Okay? I'm just pressing your buttons, I know. Get you a little upset before shir starts. But you said they definitely should compensate him. They should definitely find him another job. They should even give him a job in the school. Maybe he could teach kids privately, one-on-one. Do whatever he can do. And he said, listen, it's a busha. I'm a lo yitzlach. People are going to say, they fired me after 2 months. Kids, consider everything. And the number one thing they said, you got to fire him immediately because it's not good for the kids. We have to care about the kids first, worry about the halacha afterwards, but fire him. Anyway, says the Gemara, Osso Naharo. But if a river came, say to the Balabais, he knows about this river, he's been on this field for many years, he knows when the river goes and comes, he has to pay these guys like a pile bottle. Like a worker who's not working the low wage. Again, he hires somebody to draw water. Here in Eretz Yisrael, I found out it's true. I said it yesterday. A few people said yes. In Nachal Prat, which is also called Emaboa, the river stops. The middle will go. All of a sudden stops. No water. Then it keeps on going. It's one of these things. Especially if you have a river that leads into one of these guys and people are watering their fields and everything, and all of a sudden it just dries up. You're sitting there with the bucket. A half hour ago you're getting water. Now you don't have any water. So says the Gemara, you're working. They hired you for the day. If it's something that usually doesn't happen, say the payalim. Once again, it's like the rain. It's like whatever you want to call it. It's the worker's problem. If this is normal, ibnei masa. If they're from the city, say the payalim, they should have known about it. Lavnei masa, they brought them from out of town. Say the baal abayis, and therefore what he has to pay them like a payal bottle. So this happens. It happened to me recently. Hired a guy by the day, right? The Chinese tile guy. You hire him. Say, listen, I need you to do the bathroom. Okay? A day, I found out it's not 1,200 shekel. 1,500 shekel a day for the bathroom. At 2 o'clock, he's done. Now what? You told him by the day, and you told him about the job. He wants to go home. So if you can find, now, he won't do sponge. That's already beneath him, but he'll do anything. You give him something to cut stone, fix the stairs here in front of the Bismarck. We had him do that also. That'll do. So, says the Gemara, if you have something that's a little bit less work than what he's doing, you give it to minami if it's exactly the same amount, the kasha but you cannot give him something that's more difficult, and then you have to pay him. You told him the day is 1,500 shekel, you have to pay him 1,500 shekel. It's not his problem that there's no more work. Amai, why do you have to give him schar mishalem? You should give him as the lower wage of a worker that's not doing anything. Says the Gemara, a new thing here. These are the people, the porters that schlep packages in mechayza. There's something called a guy who doesn't, what do they call it? No, when the muscle doesn't work. Atrophy. You don't use it, you lose it, kind of thing. Like if you stop working, they want to work. They need to work. They have ADD. They need to work. It's a chesed for them to give them some more packages. Don't pay them like a pile bottle. Why? They don't want to be a pile bottle. They want to work. As soon as they feel like their health goes down, they'll work out. Yeah. So as Chatosai and Imaskir Ayoim, I started working out today, and Be'ezer Hashem, it's not good to just sit azay and you have to do exercise. So they told Reb Chaim Kanievsky, you have to do exercise. It's not good. You're not healthy. He says, I do exercise. He says, when do you do exercise? He says, I do exercise shalom 3 steps back and 3 steps forward. But seriously speaking, the Reb Yaakov Kamenetsky, he used to walk every single day 30 minutes. That was his thing. But I thought it was also very nice that they said about him that he wouldn't talk to people. It was only his wife. Him and his wife, and that was a special time with his wife, Shalom Bayis. Now there's no questions. I'm sorry, it's 101. 30 minutes. It's kedai. We talk about diet and exercise. Good stuff, right?
2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah. Also, I'll tell you, you know what? I'll tell you, for me, a personal thing for me, I like treadmill. Why? Because you can do other things on the treadmill. If you're going slow, not if you're running, like Yosef probably runs 7 miles an hour max, and you could learn, you could do chazara, there's other things, so you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So, Eitz Toiva Kamashwan. Anyways, weiter gegangen. Omar Mar, Shomim Lem Isma Sha'asu. Shomim Lem Isma Sha'asu. Keitzad. Okay, so let's just show this case again. It's a very cool case. The wording is a little difficult here, but the case is very, very simple. The guy says, I want 8 dinner to finish the entire job. And he only finished half. So what do you owe him? 4. The problem is that it's going to cost the other guy, forget what just happened to the 8, it's going to cost the guy another 6, not 4. Instead of costing him 4, it's another 2 out of his pocket. So we had a machlokes. Shamim lohem es mashasu. Okay, so hayafa shisha dinarim. So you see, here's the funny lashon. Hayafa means it's going, the thing on the right, it's going to cost another 6 to finish the job. Noisen lahem sela. You give them, the guy on the left gets 4. Kosavria banon yad poyel al Yona. So we're going to see we have a machlokes here. Check this out, it's beautiful. Who has the upper hand? According to Chachamim, the worker has the upper hand. According to Reb Doisa, the Balabais has the upper hand. Oy yigmuru melachta v'yitlu shnei slaim. They have an option. You want to 8? Finish the job. Okay, of course. We made up 8. And if you want all 8, finish the job. What's the chiddush? The market for the wages went up. They can make more money. So that's why they left. The Gemara is telling us the secret. What happened there? It's like a shmak story. It happens all the time. The guy realizes he can make more money somewhere else. Adios. He's gone. So he calls him up. Please come back. Listen. So they say, listen, we can make more money if we go somewhere else. So what does he say? No, typical. What happens? Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll take care of it. Oh, nistader. Nistader. Al tidag. The guy tells you his taina. The guy says, listen. Ani fanekotcha is good. Listen, because the Gemara talks about pinuk. How do you say ani fanekotcha in English? I'll spoil you. But it doesn't work so well in English. Ani fanekotcha. What are you worried about? I can make double the amount if I leave you. That's why I left you. Don't are you crazy? Come back. I'll take care of you. Akol. So the halacha is I'll take care of you means 0, nothing. Take care of you. Also, another halacha lamaisa. A guy said, "I'll take care of you." He says, "Listen, it was an accountant. He was working for $100 an hour." I says, "I don't want to work for you anymore." Like he's about to give the whole. He says, "I need 150." So the guy says, "Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out when you're finished. Let's get this done. Let's get it done. I'll figure it out." So the guy comes to him afterwards. He says, "Okay, we spoke about it. 150." He says, "No, I said we'll figure it out. I meant I'll give you instead of 100, I'll give you 50. That's what I meant by figure it out." So obviously, la halacha, he has to give him at least 100. But I'll figure it out is 0. Doesn't mean anything. So don't fall for that. I figure it out. If you're the balabai, say it as much as don't. It's not nice to say, especially with. But I'll figure it out. I'll take care of you. I'll spoil you. All these lashonas are 0. Va'azal balabai sufaisinu. He went and he convinced him to come back. Mal the same about R Eli. I thought that we're coming back because you're going to give us an increase. I was going to give you a sandwich. I was going to help you out a little bit with the food. That's what I meant. I was going to spoil, not extra money. Chas v'shalom.
Why can't he say you signed up for something? You can't.
No, because there's no signing. There's no sign. That's the whole point. We'll see in a second that a worker can leave whenever he wants. Avodah heim, le'avadim le'avadim. You're not a slave. You told somebody. You. Here. It's didn't go on. I was doing it without it. Kitzer, here's you like the food. The food part. This is what I meant. I'm going to give you a little extra food. So, and they're thinking to themselves, we're going to make more money an hour. No, they only get the 8. It started off, they said, we'll work for 8. Then the market went up to 10. And they ran away. So he says, no, what I meant is I'm going to give you a little pinuk. Okay. Sell, we said yesterday. What's the chiddush?
Sign up for the day that I signed up for the day, really?
No, here, it's coming up. Sell, pshita. If they worked 4 dinner worth, you give them 4 dinner. So what's the chiddush? What happened was the market, you can find workers all day long for cheaper. But the guy hired them, he's one of these large guys. I'll give you above market. Everybody's making 3 an hour, I'll give you 4 an hour. But then the market went up. Everybody's making 4 an hour. So they thought we're always above market. Whatever the market is, we get 1 more above. Now we should get 5. Not true. What happened I gave you more because I didn't have workers, whatever it is, but now everything is Everything's steady. That's the most I'm asking to give. I'm asking to give only 4. Let's go back to Reb Doisi. Here, same exact story. We made up a deal. You're gonna work for 8. You only did half. You deserve 4. Now it costs the guy 6 to finish. So the pile loses. It costs him 2 out of his pocket. We take the 2 out of the worker's pocket. So the worker is only left with 2. Shekel means 2 dinar. Because once again, he holds that the worker has or I should say the balabais has the upper hand, the worker has the lower hand, he loses. Once again, what's the big chiddush? We're just taking these svaras, we're saying the reverse. But it's interesting. I think this applies to our day to day. We always bump into kablanim, into contractors, into workers. They finish their job, they leave in middle. Things. If they have an option, they can finish the work and take whatever you discuss with them. Shita, what's the chiddush? Over here, it's where the how do you say balabais in English? The balabas says, I don't need you. You guys are too expensive. There's a whole shipment. They just came in from Chutz La'aretz, these guys. Get them for much cheaper. Shalom, bye. So he sends them away. The workers begged for their life. They want their job back. Before we said that the balabas asked them to come back. No, over here they said, can we please have work? You begged me to come back to work for me, and I told you I don't want you because I could get it for cheaper, and you convinced me to take you back. I thought take you back on the lower wage. It's on condition that what we meant is take us back and we'll do better work. So we saw in the Hebrew art scroll, better work means we'll work more hours. We'll actually give you more. Come a little earlier, stay a little later, don't take a lunch break, not use your cell phone the whole time. Sela, noislam sela. And once again, same question. Of course, if they work the sela worth, they give them a sela pshita. They gave them, they offered their work for less money to begin with. And then the whole market crashed and you get cheaper labor. It's the same as far as we said before. Maybe they are always slightly below market. These guys are always accepting. If the market is 4, they take 3. But if the market drops to 3, they'll take 2. So maybe you can give them 2. We wanted work. We were desperate. But that's it. We're not going any lower than that. Omarav. Halacha Kirib Yosi. Comes Rav and says, I'm sorry. Halacha Kirib Doisa. That what? Yodayat Achtoina. And if there's a money comes out of the pocket of the worker, but the worker's hand is on the bottom, the balabas has the upper hand. Ask the Gemara, did Rav really say that halacha is like Kirib Doisa? Omarav. Poyel Yochal Achzboy Afilu B'Chatzia Yoim. Oh, Rav says that a worker could just pick up, take his lunchbox and leave whenever he wants. Why? Avodai heim. You're a slave of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but not to another human being. What? I'm saying in this because I know what you're thinking. You're saying, but we made up a deal. But at the end of the day, when you work for somebody, you're a little bit of a slave. You're a little bit of a slave. You don't realize it. You're getting paid, but you're a slave. You do what he tells you to do. Tell, pick up, clean, do this, that. Work on the computer. I'm telling you to work on I'm telling you to make phone calls. You're a slave. Because to show that there's no such thing as slavery by Yidden, you can pick up and leave whenever you want. Now, there's difference. Oh, perhaps there is a distinction. When a person says that I'll do this job for you. I'm not working by the hour, by the day. I'm doing a job. A kabbalan, he's a contractor. So a contractor cannot leave. He has to finish up the job. He accepted an entire job. Whereas a daily worker, an hourly worker could leave in middle. In fact, la halacha, there is such an nafkamina. That's the halacha. There is a difference. Says Gemara, Mishanei, I'll prove to you that there is no difference between a contracted worker and an hourly worker. Mishanei, Vatanya, hasoicher zapoil. A guy hires a worker. In the middle of the day, he finds out that he had a death in the family, or he has the flu. So now it says there is no distinction. There is no distinction between a contracted worker and an hourly worker, because it says Amud Beis, he has to pay him half the day. And if he's a contracted worker, the prorated amount. Again, there is no difference. You give him half the amount, whether he's a kablon or an hourly worker. Now, let's continue. How do you know it's Reb Daisa? Because there's only two options, either Reb Daisa or Rabbanon. And Rabbanon, my ear is Shoma Shemeis Lemeiser, because why have to tell me that there's a aynus? The worst case is somebody died. Forget the death. Yeah? Like the death. You all know about. I had workers that 16 of their grandmothers died. You look in their files. The mother died 4 times. Some of his children died. Shem Yirachem. He died. He went to his own levaya. Came back the next day. Shama Shemeis Lemeis. They don't hold. Mom is not holding cup. Who died? My mom. And then, like 6 months later, Nachamal is his mom. Like, what's going on? No, it's my stepmother. My this. Okay, you chap him. No, this is not chap. The honest. Ask the Gemara. It can't be Rabbanon. Kilo honest nami. Even if there's no honest, nobody died. Hom Rabbanon ya poyala Yona. The worker is always in the right, and he can just leave. He must be the other option is Reb Daisa. You're trying to make a distinction in Rav. Maybe Rav said that only a kablon, a contractor, can't take it back, but a hourly worker could. Over here, you see there's no difference between one or the other. Right. Turning the daf by Eric Edelman of Bigger Cup Consulting and Chanie and Paul Schuster with Hakaras Hatov, the official Simcha and Ner Tamid, for bringing Eli MDY and DafYomi into our lives. So the Gemara Omer of Nachman Yitzchak b'Dover Avod b'Divrei HaKol. Oh, there is an nafkamina between, and that's the halacha. Yeah, there is an nafkamina between an hourly worker that could just leave the job and a guy that said, "I'll finish the job." However, when there's a loss, he's causing you a loss, like we had in the Mishnah, like with the flax in the water. You said you're going to come and take the flax out. If you're not going to take it out, you're going to ruin my flax. And many other situations. But if it's just about finishing up the bathroom, no. So the tile in my bathroom won't be there. So come tomorrow. It's not a loss. So the mainly you can just walk off the job. But there is an nafkamina, says the Gemara, between a schiras and the kablanas. But where is there no nafkamina? When there's a loss. That's why they said there's no difference. That's why it says on top of the Amud. No, it's in Zechariah, you get, whether it's Sachar, you give him half and Shalom Yisrael. Nah. The Gemara has a question. It says, Mishana, we'll just show this real quickly. First of all, this we had this once before. The poil could take back, could leave in the middle of a job. And this is the Mishana that we said. Yeah, the frak. I hire you to do X and you do Y. I told you to paint my frak, to dye my frak black, and you make it red. Oh, no. Okay. Nah. Oops, this one. It says if you change the order, it's you're on the other guy has the upper hand. And if you take it back, the other guy has the upper hand. When we learned that sugya of the frak, the dyeing in the frak, so it goes like Rebbe Yehuda. Okay. So look at this Mishnah for a second, just our Mishnah, yeah? If they took it back, our Mishnah, just 2 daf ago, if they take it back, you hired workers, you take it back, what does it say? They have the lower hand. And look all the way at the end of the Mishnah, in red. So repeated the same thing. What did you gain? What did you gain? We're talking about 2 different workers. One is a contracted worker, and the other one is the daily worker, the hourly worker. So you see, there is no difference between the two workers. You're telling me, Bemes, there is a difference. Just when there's a hefsed, then there's no difference. Over here in the Mishnah doesn't talk about hefsed, not hefsed, and you see there's no difference. They're both the same. Says Gemara, you're right. Beautiful. Ela Reb Doisa Tarte Komar. Reb Doisa was in fact talking about both workers and they're the same. You ask me Kash about Rav. He holds that when it comes to a contracted worker, we do penalize him. He has to finish the job. And an hourly worker, not. He holds like Rav Doisa in part of it, but not completely. You got it wrong. The Gemara is saying, he asked me a question from, it says, it's talking about something completely different. It's not talking about a worker. It's not talking about, can a worker take it back, and if he takes it back, if he regrets and walks off the job, we penalize him. No, we're not talking about a worker. We're talking about real estate here. A completely different thing. You missed it. The science for a different brisa that you missed. A person sells a field here. Here it is. I'm selling you a field for 1,000. Here, take it. And you give 200 out of the 1,000. What is that? He gave 200 out of it. If the seller takes it back, depends who took it back. If the seller says, I don't want to sell it. So these are the two options. 200 in cash or 200 from the property. I want my money back, or give me property. What kind of property? But here, it's give me 200 from Idis. It's 200 or 200, but from Ziburis. Ziburis, the Gemara understands, Yerushalayim is Idis. The guy has different properties. He has Yerushalayim next to the Kaisel, overlooking the Kaisel, that's Idis. The Shemesh, Beininus. That's what the Gemara understood. The Gemara is going to say no. We're talking about in Bet Shemesh, in the apartment that I'm selling you. You want $200 worth of my apartment? I'll either give you in the best part of the apartment, the part with the view, or in the back of the apartment by the bathroom. There's two in the apartment itself. When the purchaser regrets the deal, then the seller has the upper hand. Take your money back. He decides how he's going to get it. What kind of property? If he does give him property, there's from the worst. There's a trick that this deal will stick. For $200, you'll get the whole thing. Ketzad. He writes in the star, Ani Pliny ben Pliny, I'm so and so, Macharti so the Pliny is the Pliny, Be'elev Zuz, V'nosanli, it cost 1,000, and he gave me Mehem Mosayim Zuz. And by him saying that, he acquired the entire $1,000 property, and he owes me Shmeinamoy Zuz. There's a loan here of 800. Kana, he acquires the entire property, he owes him the money this minute. But unfortunately, it's a loan. And sometimes people don't pay back loans on time. So you have a loan and you have to chase him for the money, but the property is his for 200. Omamar, now just get into this little detail that we already said. We said that when the seller takes it back, he has to compensate the guy with either cash, whatever he decides, either cash or real estate, and from the best real estate. So we thought it means that if the guy has 3 types of properties, he should give him from the best. Ask the Gemara, why? Why is he any different than somebody that's owed money? The most you can get is the mediocre one, the Bet Shemesh one. You forgot. He put money down on a property in Bet Shemesh, not in Yerushalayim. So give him from Bet Shemesh. Why should he jump and get property in Yerushalayim? You're right. When I say idis, I mean from that field. He bought 200. He wanted to buy a $1,000 field. He bought only 200. So and you took it back. You, the seller, don't want to sell it to him. So give him 200 of the field in the best part of the field, the flat part, the best part. It could mean even the best of his own property. In other words, Yerushalayim. Why? And this is a moed chiddush. Imagine a guy, he sees an unbelievable deal. Yeah, he lives there in Bet Shemesh and he sees a $2 million mansion somewhere in Eretz Yisrael. So what does he do? He drops everything. He sells everything: his car, his suit, of course, his apartment, everything. And he has all these cheshbonos. He's just gonna have to borrow this and get a mortgage on that. He goes through this whole thing. And then the seller says, sorry, I'm not going to sell. And he has nothing now. Nothing. He doesn't have he sold his apartment cheap. He tried to do it quick. He lost money. So the guy is a mazik. He actually damaged him. Now, maybe not to the point where you could go after him in court, but there's a loss there. There's some sort of, it's in the category of mazik. Okay, I have a tain on you. Oh, you're a mazik. For that, the Torah says, here's the pasuk in the Torah. Yeah, we made a deal. But we didn't finish. What?
You agreed you owe me $1,000?
No. There's no contract yet. We spoke about this, and you said, okay, I'm going to sell it to you. So I run ahead and I go, and I do everything based on what you told me. It's like a Mishapara kind of thing. There's no money changed hands yet.
You have it in American law.
Contingency.
So reliance, promissory estoppel.
Reliance, promissory estoppel? Estoppel?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
Well, you went to law school? Really? Oh, Shamshi, I'm learning new things about you every day. Meitav Sodeyu. Why? It's great. How come this button is not working? Okay, Meitav Sodeyu, Meitav Karmi Shalom. When you're a mazik, you have to give Meitav, the best. Stam and the Zovanar. Stam, guy that's buying land. Ba'alfa Zuzah, which is a lot of money, I guess. Azilim Moizel. I'm saying there's a message of Chol Yoyim. It happens when you have an apartment and you figure this is going to be best for my family. You heard about a guy that's selling something. It's mamish unbelievable mitzvah. You go do whatever you can do to get out of it and go step it up a little bit. And you know you're going to take upon yourself more chayvas and you're going to lose a little bit on the apartment. It's kedai. Here's the nekudo. I made it cheaper. I want a fire sale. He's like a nizuk. He says not mamish. And when you go to, so that's why he gets. So in fact, we are talking about the three different types of properties. He's not getting the best of the beininus. He's getting the best in Yerushalayim because he's a nizuk. He's in mazik and a nizuk. There's a way to get the guy to stick to the deal by writing that he owes the rest. Time of the cost of lehachi, loikani. He only acquires the amount that the 200, not the full 1,000. A person puts a security deposit down. So I mentioned this, but I'll mention again. I have two friends in Chicago. I know both of them very well. They're both in the nursing home business. And one wanted to move to the other guy's block. He made him a great offer. And in fact, to show that he was serious, he gave him a $500,000 deposit. And the guy ended up buying somebody else's house. They were friends then. I don't know what happened afterwards. And the guy says, listen, $500,000, shalom. You gave me a deposit. And in real estate, that's basically how it works. Deposit is serious. You can't come through. It's your problem. I want my it was $500,000. So that's a little bit of an asmachta, as the Gemara says here. The guy never intended to lose the $500,000, right, Rabbi Greenman? You ever had things like that? So people lose 20,000 shekel. I don't know what kind of deposit they, but 500. You ever heard of a $500,000 deposit? Lost. Anyway, I know he ended up losing a lot of money. I didn't know that it was 500. I think they made some sort of pshara of 450 or something. But V'tanya, hanoisen irovin l'chaveiroi v'amar loi imani chayzer bi irvoni machalacha. If I take it back, like this guy, like my friend, he didn't want to buy the house. I'm buying you the Eirav, and here's the 500,000. And the seller says, I'll give you $1 million if you can't buy mine. This is the famous concept. It should really be Musik B'Shas, but I want to see where the Lashon is from. I couldn't find it today. It's called Tanai Shebemamoin Kayim. I think that's the Lashon. Called Tanai Shebemamoin. Tanai or Kayim. Okay, fine. Any Tanai, in monetary things, I can make any Tanai you want. I can say, stand in here for 3 hours and then it's mine. I can do whatever I want. So I said, you'll get $500,000, $1 million. What's the problem? The Rebbe Yosef, yes, and it's an exaggerated thing here, and you didn't really want it to happen. You didn't think for a second it's going to happen. No, but it's kayim. Not true. Let him. He acquires that which is equal to the deposit. And why? Because Rabbi Yehuda in all of Shas holds a smachta loy kanya. It isn't a smachta and it doesn't work. So this is very, very important. When a person says that my deposit should create a kinyan, that's bad. I'm not saying that I want to acquire part of the house comparable to my deposit. I didn't say I'm buying $500,000 worth of your house. I'm saying my deposit should make a kinyan. That doesn't work. Deposit doesn't make a kinyan. If I'm saying I'm making a partial payment, I'm paying $500,000 of a $2 million home, then I acquire the whole thing. I made a partial payment to the house. But a deposit is not a partial payment. My deposit should make a kinyan. No good. If he paid a partial payment, then he acquires the whole thing. And then he has to pay. So now the question is, what's going on here? Does a deposit work? It's kind of everything or not? Which one is it? So here's this new yahrzeit of ayil v'nofek azuzay. If you tell a guy, here, take this esrog, show it to your rabbi, and he doesn't pay you, is it shalochem or not? He comes after Sukkot and he pays you. Well, if you're the guy, you're uptight about the money, where's my money? You call him up 3 times and you don't get an answer, then it's not his. If you're Beseder, don't worry about it. I'll get the money. He'll give me. I know this guy. He pays every time. Shtickle after Sukkot. So then he's Yartzeit. So with the chassan, with the ring, if he's a guy like knock knock, where's my money? Where's my money? It's all over. No good.
At what point do you convey that?
I don't know. It has to do with a guy. Rashi sticks in. We'll see a little bit more tomorrow. Rashi sticks in that you see the guy was just selling it because he had to. He's forced. He's showing you. But it's more. I think it's more like an attitude. I don't want you. You're not. I'm showing you. You don't acquire this. You didn't acquire. It wasn't your esrog. Why? I need all money up front. There's people like that. If you pay me up front, great. Not. You buy this halacha l'maisa. Passing the Shulchan Aruch. You buy something from your friend, and the guy keeps on bugging you for the money. Loy kani, it's not yours. Like I have an ofik azuzay, Chanie. Fine. Stop right over here. Boy, have a wonderful day.